In the age we live in now, comic book movies are mostly big, bloated blockbusters with big budget bullshit behind it. And while there are some exceptions to that statement these days, back in the late 90s, you would never find a comic book movie with a budget in the hundreds of millions. These kinds of films were dark horses in Hollywood with unproven success to secure studio backing. So bloated bullshit blockbusters were not an option.
Yeah. I'm gonna be naughty.
Now, there's probably no need for me to explain the early days of Marvel movies and the constant state of financial decay that the company was in prior to the inception of the MCU. But suffice it to say that Marvel, the juggernaut movie studio that now owns their own corner of the industry, was once so broke that they sold off the rights to some of their characters and IP to stay afloat. This is how we got movies like Spider-Man from Sony, The Punisher from Artisan, and of course the X-Men saga from Fox. Included in that offload of IP was Blade, which was sold to New Line Cinema, a movie that many did not know was even tied to the otherwise colorful and bright Marvel brand, and that, in the 90s, was actually to this film's benefit.
The world you live in is just a sugar-coated topping. There is another world beneath it.
Blade is a half-human and half-vampire hybrid whose mother was attacked by a vampire during childbirth. This gives Blade the unique cocktail of DNA which gives him all the strengths of these blood-sucking cultists, but none of their weaknesses. It's called being a daywalker in this movie.
All our strengths, none of our weaknesses.
Blade's mission in life is to use his curse in order to hunt and destroy any creature that he can find. He achieves this with the help of his trusty mentor, Whistler, played by Chris Christopherson, who adopted Blade as a teenager and trained him in combat. Whistler is Blade's guy in the chair who provides technical savvy, companionship, and a special serum that Blade injects to keep him from craving blood. Remember, he is a vampire after all, folks.
You tell him it's open season on all suckheads.
Now, seeing as this movie is almost 30 years old, and this is a revisited video, it's safe to assume that you've already seen this movie, and personally, I'm not really interested in recapping the entire plot and calling it a day. Instead, let's just go over the good stuff. How does this movie hold up, and what makes it great after all these years? Oh, and also, we're definitely gonna spoil some Deadpool and Wolverine somewhere in this video, so I'll warn you when we get there. Let's go.
But it's daytime!
First off, let's talk about this movie's legendary opening scene. The movie opens on what appears to be an incredibly stylized late 90s rave, complete with shiny leather, edgy music, sexiness, debauchery, and, oh yeah, blood raining from the ceiling sprinklers. That's right, dudes, this opening scene is a mass killing in a vampire rave. This is so 90s, but it is the smoothest and most satisfying 90s. The blue tones of the lighting and the color grading really pop against the deep, thick red of the corn syrup being sprayed all over the dance floor. I am so here for this. The villain of the piece is a ruthless and reckless vampire with something to prove, called Deacon Frost, played by Stephen Dorff. This guy is basically seeking to either capture Blade and use his hybrid blood to push the evolutionary scale of vampires to the next level, or collab with Blade so that he doesn't have to use force. Well, Blade prefers using force, so now we have our main conflict.
Looks like your mascara's running.
This movie's performances are not only good, but I think it gets undersold just how important these actors and their commitments to the roles were in the ultimate success of this movie. It's important to remember that while Marvel films are commonplace and household movies today, Blade was made at a time when superhero movies were deeply uncool, and thus unprofitable. Director Stephen Norrington was already facing slim odds of a commercial success when taking on this project, but thanks to the cast and crew taking the project so seriously, and the actors truly committing to the absurdity of it all and delivering serious and grounded performances, is what makes this movie special.
And if you want to survive it, you better learn to pull the trigger.
Wesley Snipes' Blade is really one of those all-time superhero castings that we put up there with Hugh Jackman as Wolverine or RDJ as Iron Man. Snipes gives Blade a hip and cool edge by cracking the occasional joke, reacting with his extremely expressive orange eyes, and even throwing some signature one-liners into the mix from time to time. You know which one I'm talking about.
Some motherfuckers are always trying to ice skate uphill.
While there are one or two moments of comedic relief in the film, the movie ultimately plays it completely straight and takes what it's doing pretty seriously. Dorff as Deacon Frost is a great example of hamming it up while still selling the stakes of the scene. He chews pretty much the entire set, but it's not wasted on big monologues and cheesy exposition. Instead, he lets his demeanor and expressions show you how evil and unpredictable he is, while also delivering lines as if he'd been up all night practicing in the mirror and thinking of nothing other than his mission. And I mean all of this as a compliment.
Which means a lot to me, by the way, really.
Frost gets a bad rap due to the film's dated CGI, which was heavily relied on for the ending of the movie. Why does Frost take the hit for this? Well, he's the guy who turns into this pixelated, rubbery disaster in the final act. Admittedly, this does not look as polished as it would today, but putting that aside, look at the incredible fight choreography and immaculate cinematography of the action in this movie. You know what? Montage. While the action and carnage is fun, it's also only part of a very delicious pie. The dynamic that Blade has with the supporting cast is also fun on the rewatch. Blade and Whistler have a father-son type relationship that adds a sweet layer to his character and leaves you gutted by his reaction to Whistler's almost death scene.
By the time you watch this, your friend Whistler should be dead.
To add another layer to Blade's character is his dynamic with Karen, a human that wants to help and maybe bone Blade. If Whistler makes Blade sweet, then Karen makes him tough. Her involvement gives Blade a reason to stay sharp and be alert. Cause see, while our hero has no problem going out at night to kick some vampire ass, what he's really interested in is protecting people. And with Karen being around, he's constantly looking out for her safety. It's important to note that what makes Blade a great character goes beyond the obvious. I mean, sure, the duster jacket, the ninja weapons, especially those katanas, and the shades and tattoos sure make him look cool, but his stoic attitude with those small elements of humor and most importantly, humanity, that is what makes Blade a great character.
Motherfucker, are you out of your damn mind?
Behind the scenes, Norrington and Snipes would both eventually get sick of the franchise, with Norrington passing the reins for the next film to the modern master of the macabre, Guillermo del Toro, for a sequel that is just as much fun as this one. Snipes would appear as Blade in all 3 installments of the trilogy, but reportedly would get more and more difficult to work with as the films went on. See, Snipes was so ingrained in the character of Blade that he would remain in character at all times, making him seem unapproachable and unfriendly to basically everybody on set.
Motherfucker, I'll kill you. I'll just enjoy it better.
This would lead to the films having diminishing returns and eventually fading out and being pruned to the void. Until...
Oh, this is gonna be good.
For those of you that love Blade the way that I do, you must have been just as stoked as I was to see Wesley Snipes enter the frame as Blade in Marvel's latest multiverse outing, Deadpool and Wolverine. Seeing him whip out some blades and kick some ass was everything I needed to fill that blade-shaped hole in my heart. However, while I love that he was in the movie, and for a good chunk of it with plenty to do, I was disappointed by the rehashed use of a catchphrase and the not so subtle wink at the camera and Mahershala Ali's blade. It just didn't feel like the character in those moments. But regardless, this movie offers a bloody, violent, action-packed, and well-performed comic book story that is sure to scratch that vampire itch that you're feeling now.
And you understand the nature of the thing. You know what it's capable of.
On the rewatch, I gotta give Blade an 8.5 out of 10. This movie rules.
It was actually, when you get to know me, I'm a fairly sentimental type of guy.
Hello, and welcome to Friday Night Flicks. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Hopefully you guys can see me okay. We got a good show lined up tonight, so I want to make sure we're firing on all cylinders. Can I get a validation in the chat that you guys can hear me and that you can see me? And while we're doing that, I'm going to get some music going for us just to keep it lively around here. Happy Friday, everybody. Hopefully you guys are having a solid week. This will be a nice kind of cap to it. As always, I missed you guys. Hopefully you're ready for some good stuff. We're going to be talking all things Venom tonight. Okay, hopefully you guys can hear the music now too. All right. Happy Friday. Thank you all for being here. Brad, welcome back to the stream. So good to see you here once again. Pin your comment there. Looks like you guys are definitely ready to talk some Venom. Casey, thank you for confirming that you can hear me okay. I appreciate that. Oh, we got a hot take right off the bat before we get into anything. Topher Grace was a great Venom. Clever writing, making him the other side of the coin for Peter, like an evil twin. He definitely was a mirrored Peter. I don't know if I loved Topher Grace as Venom though. But we are going to be talking about a different Venom today. We're going to be talking about Tom Hardy's Venom, which means I'm sorry to disappoint you, Tyler. I pinned your comment earlier. This is not a stream dedicated to Hank Azaria's Venom. Sorry about that, man. Maybe next time. You know how I know Chris is here on the stream? He wants to see my chain. Okay, here you go, buddy. I wore it. I would say I wore it for you. I wore it for you, man. Sam Eastman, happy Friday, and thank you to you too, sir. Hopefully you enjoy the show tonight. I'm really excited, guys. I'm kind of unwinding from a pretty hectic but fun week. A lot of videos coming out, a lot of fun stuff happening. So I've been working hard for you guys. So stick around the channel. If you guys aren't subscribed, but you're here for the live stream, thank you for being here, first of all. And if you like the show tonight, make sure you subscribe to the channel because our regular scheduled content is amazing and you're going to love it. And I know that because if you love this, well, there you go. Ooh. Cartoon Man with a good suggestion. Awfully good for Madam Web. We just may do that. We just may do that. Tyler says, shame on me. We need more 90s Spider-Man love. That's in reference to Hank Azaria's Spider-Man or Venom. All right, guys, let's before we get into kind of the main topic of the show, which I think really, if I had to just sum it up for you guys, I think the most I don't know, fun way to spend the time would just be to look back on the two Venom movies that we have so far, which would be Venom and Venom Let There Be Carnage. Pretty polarizing movies despite being fairly successful financially. So we're going to take kind of a trip back and revisit those movies in terms of what do we think about them? And is the franchise, or I guess those two movies, are they enough to get us excited for a third one? I've been kind of tossing back and forth with my approach to this all day, and it wasn't until I went live that I think I cemented my opinion on Venom 3, or my excitement for it anyway. But I'm going to kind of save that. We'll unfold it as we look back. I have a lot of things to say about the two Venom movies so far, and as usual, there may be a rant or two But spoiler alert, I do kind of appreciate these movies. So it's going to be a good time regardless. Nick Lindsay says Carnage could have been so much better. Oh, we're going to get there, my friend. We will get to Carnage. Any Spider-Man fans in the chat, make yourselves known now, because this is going to be fun for us. I'm a big Spider-Man guy, I guess. Big enough to be both insulted and serviced by these Venom movies simultaneously. But before we get into those, and before we talk about anything else regarding Venom, I do want to go over with you guys some of the movie news that we have floating around that I either find interesting to me personally or somewhat related to today and our topic. So I'm not going to be covering a whole stream full of movie news, although if you guys would like to see that, maybe that's a good topic for the future. But let's start with this here. We've all seen this. The rumor that Spider-Man 4 was going to be a Daredevil team-up might now be a Venom crossover. I can feel some of you cringing and rolling your eyes now, and I can feel others of you maybe getting a little bit excited, or at least hanging on to a little bit of that excitement. I hope. Let's kind of break down what we know. Okay, so if you guys want, you can go read the article. It is on joeblow.com, of course. You can go check it out. We have all the deets, everything we know. But ultimately, what happened, if you've been kind of, I don't know, not in the know of this Venom 3 situation, Tom Hardy was spotted in New York doing reshoots for Venom, which is not uncommon for the most part. But I guess some of the circumstances surrounding it, and then the fact that Tom Holland recently was spotted going into a meeting with Amy Pascal, it sounds so conspiracy. I should have yarn on the walls. But ultimately, the new public suspicion is that the new Tom Holland Spider-Man film, which is unnamed, but Spider-Man 4, whatever that's going to be, Are you guys able to hear me? Did I lose you guys? Comment below if you can hear me. Okay, well, what I was saying, it looks like you guys are able to hear me now. Can we confirm? All I'm getting is comments saying no sound. Are you guys not able to hear me? Okay, sound is back according to Brad. I'm pinning this as proof. I have no idea what happened, but looks like, okay, you guys are hearing me now. Good. Okay, I'm so sorry. I have no idea what happened there, but we're back. So I saw that some of you were still hearing the music in the background as well. Very strange. But what I was saying is, I don't know where I lost you guys, but essentially you hear a name like Venom, The Last Dance. And I think where we're at is we can speculate based on the rumor that Venom and Tom Holland will be crossing over in a Spider-Man film, we can assume that Venom is going to come out of this movie okay, this new movie okay, which is, I mean, cool. That's good, as long as the movie's good and we want more Venom after that. But I think that's interesting because what's with the title, Venom: The Last Dance, you know? I wonder if that just means the last dance for that weird pocket universe, that weird tangent universe that all these movies are set in. I don't know. But okay, looks like tons of comments. You guys can hear me again, so let me know if that changes. I hope we're good from here. So yeah, Tom Holland spotted entering Amy Pascal's office for a meeting, a supposed secret meeting, around the same time that Tom Hardy, two Toms, were spotted doing reshoots for Venom. And potentially, I think the speculation is that it was some kind of post-credit scene situation. So this is interesting. I am excited to see how this unfolds. This kind of reminds me of where the world was at, or at least where this corner of the world was at, when Spider-Man No Way Home was coming out, because there was so much speculation about, you know, are Toby and Andrew going to be in it? Who else is going to be in it? There were so many speculations. And then the cameo game in Marvel has gone insane since then. That was like, you know, the start of it. But then now up to Deadpool and Wolverine, they're just taking whatever they want, whoever they want, and putting them in whatever movie they want. And that, you know, that lends a lot of potential to what Venom could do. But I just wonder if this is going to be the final Venom movie, and then he shows back up in a Tom Holland Spider-Man movie. Where do you take Venom from there? Is this going to be like him and Spider-Man like team up like homies? Because I don't know if I really want to see that before I've really seen them battle, you know? Or is it going to be like Tom Hardy enters the MCU just to be replaced right away by Robert Downey Jr. as Eddie Brock? Maybe that's what they're doing. Hopefully not, though. In all seriousness, Marvel, that's not an idea. Please don't do that. You already have him as Doom. All right, let's keep moving on with movie news, though. I also wanted to talk about this. So you guys, if you've been tuning in for these streams, especially in like the last couple of months that the Hellboy news has been coming out, I want so bad to be excited for this new Hellboy film, The Crooked Man. Hellboy, The Crooked Man. And again, if you guys have tuned in the past, we've watched the trailer together. We've talked about where my hype level is at versus where I wish it was. And unfortunately, the news that this movie is going straight to digital, no theatrical release, it kind of makes me a little deflated. It makes me even less excited for this movie. It makes me wonder what's going on, because first of all, obviously it's no secret the trailers don't look great. But even that is, I mean, that doesn't mean that the movie's not going to be good. It's just, you know, the movie doesn't, it looks a little cheap. It looks a little on the cheaper side. It looks a little fan film-ish, which is fine. Again, can be fine. But then you couple that with things like the character design doesn't look great. And then you couple that with more things like the CGI finish is really bad. And then you couple that with things like it's going straight to digital with almost no promotion of any kind. There was very little marketing. The movie supposedly is going to be released to digital like next week or something like that. October 8th. It's coming out October 8th to digital. There's been no announcement of any of this in terms of like promotion. There's been no hype. There's been no social media presence. There's been nothing for this movie. And it does make me sad because I want to be excited. I need another good Hellboy movie. I unfortunately was one of the people that was very let down by the David Harbour Hellboy film. Although I thought the look of him was great and I thought the performance was good, I just was not a fan of the movie. That being said, when I heard Hellboy was getting a more horror-based film, a little more genre, I was very excited for that. And then everything that's kind of come since has been a little bit of a letdown. And that truly does bother me because, I mean, other than two good Hellboy movies, given to us by Guillermo del Toro, and really one great one, and then just, you know, a decent one. We really need a strong. Otherwise, what's going to end up happening is we're going to get away. We're going to lose our footing with Hellboy, right? We had 2 good ones, then we had a bad one, and then if this one's bad too, it's going to start to diminish the returns for the franchise until nobody's going to want to touch it. Nobody good is going to want to touch it, and then we're going to be doomed to having all of these, you know, straight to digital remakes of Hellboy, when really this could be a hot comic book property, you know. And Constantine, same thing. If they would have just followed up on some of that stuff, I really think it would have broke through. We got a good question here from Gobker, who looks like a very frequent commenter tonight, so I really appreciate that there, bud. Can I do a rank of the MCU? Yeah, maybe. That might be fun. The thing is, if I do that, let me come back over to let me get out of this news article. If I rank the MCU, here's the thing. First of all, let me know if you guys would want to see that. If you would want to watch that, then that's the easiest way for these things to happen, is if you guys want to see it. But it would require me to watch some of the MCU that I haven't seen. And there is quite a bit of MCU that I've not seen. So I don't know. I would be down to rank the movies. Maybe we'll have to add a category for movies that I haven't seen, or in the honor of good research and in the tradition of Joe Blow doing good research, perhaps what I would do is watch all of the MCU to prepare for that. So if we do that, it's, you know, I don't know, maybe let me know in the comments if you guys would want to see me ranking all of the MCU, and then also let me know if you think that requires me to watch every single movie. Because if so, I got a lot of work to do for you guys. But let's get on to Venom. And then maybe we'll come back. There's a few other news things, and we're getting into the spooky season soon. It's almost October, so there was some like Scream, you know, news. But it's not great news. It actually makes me kind of sad. So let's maybe come back to that if there's time at the end. And then, of course, stick around, guys, because we are going to be doing a giveaway. And you're not going to want to miss this one, because if there's one thing I've learned as a professional guy in a chair, it's that Funko Pops to movie and pop culture lovers are like crack. And I believe that it's more ethical to give away a Funko Pop than a bag of crack. So stick around. If you're a Venom fan, a comic book fan, or a fan of Funko Pops, or a collector of Funko Pops, stick around, because we're going to be giving one of those away. And I don't want to give you all the goods yet. Okay. Let's start with, actually, you know what? Let's start with this. This is a meme that I just like to play sometimes.
There's gonna be carnage.
Can we watch it again? Let's just watch it one more time. You ready?
There's gonna be carnage.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Now that's from Venom 2, which, or actually that's, I guess, the post-credit scene of Venom 1. But I just like to say, or I just like to play that meme. That's definitely like a sound, like that should be a TikTok sound that we can make memes out of. Maybe I'll do that. Maybe I'll start that on the Joe Blow TikTok. We'll see. All right, let's talk about Venom 1 first, okay? I have some graphics here so we can just kind of talk about it, and you guys will have more to look at, and maybe this will remind you of the movie. I made some nice graphics for you. This movie, okay, so kind of a brief history with Venom, okay? For those of you that don't know, there has been had been talks of a Venom movie forever. Like forever. We're talking like late 90s, they were trying to get Venom movies made, okay? Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I don't know what's going on, but I keep getting comments saying that you guys can't hear me. And that's concerning to me, obviously. So as fast as you can, comment as soon as you can hear me, because it says that nobody's muted. Audio is on. Maybe if I turn off the music. I'm so sorry about this, you guys. I don't know what's going on here. And it makes it hard because I'm also getting comments like as if you guys are hearing. So it looks like some of you are hearing me fine. Okay. Hopefully that's the end of it. We'll see. I don't know what happened, but every 2 minutes I'm getting some of you are hearing me and then some of you aren't. So trying to keep it all focused, but let's hope that for now we're good. Thank you. Yes. Okay. It looks like some of you are saying it's good now. What's weird is that it's the same as it was before. So I'm not even going to touch my mouse. I'm not going to touch anything. Yeah. So in the case of this movie coming out in 2019, it did feel a little bit outdated. And that personally, I found that a little bit refreshing in 2019 because this was around the time that Marvel was really ramping up their releases, and there was new end of the world level threat movies all the time. And then Venom came out, and it straight up just felt like an underdog from the beginning. And what's weird was the marketing for Venom is, yeah, whenever I pull up the background plates, my voice drops out. That's what it seems like. So I'm just gonna not do that for a while. But Brad, yeah, thanks for the help, man. Hopefully you guys are hearing me now. Now I think that the movie was a little bit refreshing in that way. It kind of looked a little bit horrific in the beginning. In fact, it was marketed and promoted originally. It was like, this is going to be darker. It's going to be rated R. It's going to be a horror movie. That was like the original, when Tom Hardy was cast as Venom, that was the original vision for the film. But what happened? I think the same kind of thing that happened to Suicide Squad, the 2016 one with Jared Leto. It's that in the process of getting the film made, the studio decided that they wanted the movie to be something different than it was already. So what it turned into was the script for maybe a horror movie or a darker movie, and then potentially different demands coming from different directions saying, well, now it's got to be PG-13. Also, it needs to tease Carnage. Also, it needs to do this. Also, it needs to do that. So I think by trying to please everybody, the movie ended up just being the most lukewarm movie that anybody could have asked for, which is disappointing when you take into account we're talking about a character like Venom, we're talking about an actor like Tom Hardy, and Riz Ahmed as the villain. Carlton Drake, I think, is his name in that movie. Good cast, but ultimately some people were not impressed with the final result. I also think, let me take a sip of this really quick. I also think, and I wish I could pull up the B-roll, but at the risk of you guys losing my voice, we're going to try it briefly. Hopefully you guys don't lose me here. But the thing about this movie that I liked was they kind of established a fresh dynamic for Venom and Eddie Brock. Now, I don't read every single Spider-Man comic, and I certainly don't read all of the Venom stuff outside of Spider-Man, but I do read a little bit. And I think that it is nice to see kind of a modern relationship between the symbiote and Eddie throughout the movie. I think it's fun that Tom Hardy did the voice for Venom. There's kind of this lore that he wore an earpiece with pre-recorded lines so he could hear himself talking as Venom to record his lines as Eddie. All that stuff's just very fun. I think it's fun when you see an actor get that invested in a character that they're playing. And I think it really shows, if nothing else, that Tom Hardy cares about the Venom character. But what ended up happening was they had to do the best they could with what happened to the movie. If it was originally intended to be a darker horror film, that makes sense when you watch this movie because you can tell that there's stuff that's been removed. There's blood, or there's no blood when Venom bites someone's head off. Some stuff's put in the shadows so that it's only suggesting certain types of violence. I think though, to take the movie at face value for what it is, which is essentially just a movie about a guy who gets infected with an alien parasite, it's a shame that this movie came out the same year as Upgrade, because honestly, Upgrade is everything this movie should have been, but I still think this movie's okay. It doesn't offend me. I didn't love the movie. In fact, the first time I saw it, I think the most redeeming quality for me was I enjoyed that there was a little bit of silliness to kind of cut through. Because here's the thing, this movie as it is, if it's not silly, the dialogue, some of these situations would be very bad. The comedy at least helps sell it as a little bit. I hate the word, or I hate to give the excuse of this movie's being campy in a good way, but the movie is at least, I think, adding in some goof, some levity to kind of soften some of the more dull parts of this movie that would otherwise have been horrific had it not been, a PG-13 movie. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to excuse some of the cinema sins of this movie. I'm trying to excuse some of the things that I think it got wrong, but all to say that in general, it's kind of an enjoyable movie. It's a movie that, at least to me, you can sit down and watch. It's a popcorn movie. You could sit down, you can watch it, and you'll enjoy what you get. It's not going to change your life. It might not inspire you particularly, but it's not going to kill you, you know? Z Last Boss. I hope that this is a message for Tom Hardy. Is it a message for Tom Hardy? Because that's what I hope it is. It's not a message for me, I'll tell you that much. Yeah, Upgrade was fantastic. Thank you, Brad. Always coming through. Yeah, Upgrade, it sucks, man. Upgrade was what this movie wanted to be, and it's funny. They had, Gob Kerr made a good point. Even the actors from those movies, Logan Marshall Green and Tom Hardy, look alike. It's so funny that those movies came out so close, and one of them is renowned. People loved it. The other one is, like, at best a guilty pleasure for assholes like me who get a kick out of it, Yeah. I've heard this too. Alistair, this is a good comment. Let's talk about this one. Alistair Campbell says, the movie that Sony made called Life with Jake Gyllenhaal, Rebecca Ferguson, and Ryan Reynolds should have and could have been a good prequel to Venom. I have heard this before because, let's talk about the obvious first. The alien in Life is black goo. Could easily have been a symbiote. Pretty much kind of was. At least, in the way it looked. Also, the movie was called Life, which the link to Venom would be the Life Foundation, which does make sense. I think, though, that movie as a prequel to Venom would have just been an unnecessary prequel to Venom. You know what I'm saying? Like, because that would have, all it really would have done would have been show us how powerful the symbiote is before it gets to Eddie. But part of the fun of Venom is seeing Eddie learn that, and us learning that too, as he gets used to having the symbiote. So yes, it definitely could have been a great prequel, and I think Life was a cool movie. I actually really enjoyed it. But if it were a prequel to Venom, it would have been an unnecessary one that really didn't do anything for Venom. You know what I'm saying? That's my piece of it. But yeah, it looks like some of you guys like aren't mad at the Venom movie, which is good, because personally, the way I see it is, like, it doesn't have to be the worst movie ever just because it's not like a great movie. And I feel that there are times where if I get too invested in, especially a character, Venom or, Sherlock Holmes, or like something important to me, if I get too invested in that character and then I happen to have a problem with one adaptation, then I for some reason shame that movie as not worth anything. And I'm trying not to do that. And personally, I've seen Venom 3 or 4 times and I've enjoyed it every time. So what does that say? What does it really say? I think it means that I enjoy it enough to not only feel satisfied after I'm done watching it, but then to go back and watch it again. Like I said, I've seen it 3 or 4 times, that first one. So, gotta say something. Cora Gray says, I heart the Venom movies and they do not offend me, but can't wait to see the third this month coming up. Plus, at least we have a slice of life after Joker 2. Yeah. Let's talk about that. We have Joker 2 and Venom 3 coming out. Two iconic superhero villain solo outings. How crazy is that now we live in a world where the super villains just have their own movies and there's two in 1 year for two icons. That's crazy. Because there was a time, guys, when superheroes were not bankable cinema. You would never, and then to think super villains on top of that. No. Cartoon Man, have I seen Spectacular Spider-Man? I'm assuming you mean the animated series. I don't know of a movie called Spectacular Spider-Man, but yes, I have seen the cartoon and I love it. Absolutely love it. I think most Spider-Man cartoons are pretty good, to be honest. I like most of them. So yeah, we have Joker 2 coming out and then Venom 3. One of them I'm more excited for than the other. And I'm not going to tell you which one until maybe I tell you. We'll see. But for now, let's talk about Venom 2. Let there be carnage. Wait. Before we talk about Venom, Let There Be Carnage, you guys know what we have to do.
There's gonna be carnage.
One more time. It's a short clip. Just let me play it again.
There's gonna be carnage.
Oh, I love it so much. I love his little Annie wig. I love it. Now, it would be cheap for me to make fun of this. This happened in 2019. Many people have made fun of. Oh, yeah. Oh, my gosh, Alistair. And we have a Craven movie coming supposedly still in 2024. That's 3 villain movies, 2 of which from the same universe. What the fuck? That's crazy, man. That is so crazy to me. Is that more supervillain movies than superhero movies this year? Holy shit. We'll have to think about that. But for now, there's gonna be carnage.
There's gonna be carnage.
I can't get enough of it. So Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage. Listen, okay? This movie was directed by Andy Serkis. So automatically I got to put a little respect on it, okay? And he's also directing the new Gollum movie coming from the Lord of the Rings universe, and I want so badly for that to be a good movie, although I don't expect it to be. No offense to Andy Serkis, has nothing to do with him. I just feel that since the original Lord of the Rings trilogy, it's been kind of a moot point trying to do anything else. Nothing else has worked at all. So anyway, Venom 2, Let There Be Carnage, directed by Andy Serkis, again starring Tom Hardy and Woody, wouldn't you know it, Harrelson as Carnage, Cletus Cassidy. That was a bold casting choice for sure. I think we all expected Carnage to be somebody a little, just maybe I think we just expected a different kind of actor. I don't think anybody expected Woody Harrelson to be Cletus Cassidy. And then when you saw him, it's not the post-credit scene of Venom, but like the end of the movie is when you get the there's gonna be carnage scene. And he was wearing that goofy wig. And he's got a goofy wig in this movie too. Don't get me wrong. They just swapped one goofy fucking hairstyle for another. Trust me. However, this movie to me, I gotta admit, I thought was fun. I thought this movie was fun as hell. Here's what happened. You've heard this all before. I'm going to speed run through it because, you guys want to get to the free stuff anyway. But here's what happened with Venom, Let There Be Carnage. They had to make a choice, okay? The first Venom movie ended up not being a horror movie. And then it turned into kind of just a movie that it had a few jokes, but it was otherwise just a straightforward movie, played mostly straight. But there were gimmicky and comic booky and dorky moments in that first movie. So I think what Andy Serkis decided to do, which, to me, not a bad idea. He just decided, fuck it. Let's send it and lean all the way into the goof. Lean all the way into the Venom and Eddie bad roommates, vibe. And I mean, honestly, if you're going to do a sequel to that first movie and you can't make it darker because it's not going to be rated R, What else can you do besides go, fuck it, let's just make it fun. Let's just have fun with the concept of Venom and Eddie not getting along and having this kind of toxic relationship with each other uh, that can only be mended when Carnage is brought into the picture, and neither one of them have the time or the ability to be hard-headed. Personally, I think that's kind of fun. I think it's fun that they did the romantic comedy thing. It's kind of I think it was High Top Films described this movie as Venom's coming out party and we're all invited, which I thought was fun. I thought that was a fun way to describe the movie. And truthfully, regardless of anything else, here's again what you guys have to remember. At the end of the day, none of these movies are going to please everybody. And sometimes we don't know as an audience what we want. We just know what's not it. And that gets us into the weeds a little bit because then we're a little closed-minded to something that doesn't at first strike our fancy. But this movie grew on me like a fucking symbiote, you know? It happened quick. I started this movie going, it's already corny. This is another thing about these movies. These movies are not meant to be highbrow, okay? These movies are meant to just be schlocky fun, I believe. And I especially think this second one, I think it was meant to just be a movie you put on a rainy day when you're eating popcorn and edibles. And, you know, there's so many movies we talk about on this show that I say are good if you're just chilling on the couch, a little stoned, or you know, had a couple beers and you got a good buzz going and you just want to laugh at something or just enjoy something like a child would, just enjoy it because it's silly and sparkly and shiny. That's what this movie is. But I like that. Personally, it does not bother me that this movie is wacky or silly or cheesy because it is all of those things. There's literally a scene, this scene here, where Eddie and Venom argue because Venom wants to eat people, obviously. Eddie can't allow it, obviously. And so he's trying to convince Venom to eat their pet chickens, Sonny and Cher. And Venom won't do it. He's like, they're my best friends. I can't do it. And stuff like that, I honestly think that plays like it came out of a comic book. And maybe that's where this movie got some things right that people maybe didn't realize is it's comic booky at the very least. Venom in the comic books wasn't always super serious. There were jokes. There were times, you know. There's examples of Venom, you know, almost having quippiness like Spider-Man would. And I think that this movie just decided, hey, if we can't make it darker, which we know we can't, we couldn't get the first one to be a certain level of dark. We can't go darker. All we can do is go funnier and lean into what we liked about that last one. And personally, thought it was okay. Here's my beef. Here's my beef. My big beef with this one. Because I think this movie is fun as hell. I do. What I don't like about it, and it's a short movie, by the way. It's a very short watch. This movie's like an hour and a half, quick, in and out. But what I didn't love about it is Carnage, which is disappointing. Because, one, I love Woody Harrelson. I love Woody Harrelson. Kingpin is probably my all-time favorite Farrelly Brothers movie. And I think he kills it in that one. But was he miscast as Carnage, or was it just bad direction to have? Yeah, here, I'm going to pin this one, Brad. Was it Andy Serkis? Here's what I want to know. Was it the writing? Was it the directing? Or was it Woody Harrelson that ruined Carnage for me? Because here's what I wanted. And they alluded to it in the movie. I wanted a Carnage that was on par with like I don't know, like that like who Jackie Earl Haley played in Shutter Island. You guys remember that? I can't remember his name. I think it was Andrew Latis or something like that. In Shutter Island, he was just like just a completely unpredictable, itchy, finicky, you know, looked like he was like, you know, I don't know, having meth urges. I don't know. He looked like he was physically uncomfortable at all times. Like he just wanted to get out of his own skin and choke you. That's kind of what I wanted. I wanted like a fidgety, I wanted a Carnage that felt like a fucking nightmare of a person, you know? Like somebody where you wouldn't want to run into him in any circumstances. Even if you're in a perfectly controlled environment, I wanted somebody who just feels like chaos incarnate. And to me, that was not Woody Harrelson. In fact, I think Woody Harrelson in this movie felt like, I don't know, like maybe he was trying to do like a wacky Joker performance or something. But this ain't the Joker, and Cletus Cassidy ain't the Joker. You know, Cletus Cassidy is a dirty, pure evil bastard, but he's not he's not mustached in that way, you know. And Carnage, the design of Carnage was okay. You know, I know some people hated how big the eyes were, some people hated how much tendril was coming off of him. I thought all that was fine. I thought the design was okay. I thought the CGI was even okay. But it was every single time that it was just Cletus. I didn't get it. I didn't get, not like there's no point where I'm watching Woody Harrelson as Carnage and I'm buying it as the Carnage I want. It's very much the way that it feels like seeing, you know, I don't know, like it would be like seeing Henry Cavill as Wolverine in Deadpool and Wolverine. It's actually not that good because that was awesome. But like, you know, what I mean is you can tell that it's not the exact thing that you want, you know? It's close, but no cigar. Pun intended. Pun intended. Fuck it. I'm taking that one. Brad thinks Woody had bad direction. Yeah. Well, I don't know if Andy Serkis, like, I don't know off the top of my head. I don't even know what else he's done in terms of directing. I know that I think he's one hell of an actor, and I think the movie in general, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, is fine. I think it's fun, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe just the vision that they had for Cletus Cassidy as Carnage, maybe just their version of that just wasn't for me, and I think I'm okay with that because truthfully, everything else in the movie is pretty fun. This one I think is maybe more rewatchable than the first one, although I haven't seen it as many times. I've only seen it twice. But it is to me like, I don't know, it is to me like the more poppy version of Venom. And if you liked the first one, I think that there's a really good chance that you'll love this one because it goes all the way into the silly, you know. But I kind of liked it. All right. But is it enough to get us excited for Venom 3? So what we know so far, okay? Venom: The Last Dance. Now this movie just got another trailer. I think it was the final trailer, which was like 2 back to back. Last month they got another one, and then another one this month. And I don't know. I saw the trailer in a movie theater, and so I think I was in the right place, you know, at the right time, and I kind of got excited for Venom. But here's what I noticed watching this trailer. And this, I don't know if this is the final one, but this is one of the more recent ones. So you see a lot of stuff in this trailer. And obviously I have the sound off so that way we don't get hit with copyright. But one thing I noticed is that it feels like this new trailer, at least these last 2, were maybe created specifically because Tom Hardy and Tom Holland might be crossing over. It seems like since that decision was made, the marketing for this movie has changed. It's definitely ramped up, but now in the final stages of promoting this movie, it's almost out already. And then that's when they drop the bomb that Null is in this movie, which I know at first doesn't have any ties to Spider-Man, or, you know, maybe that was always part of the plan. But I think it's weird because by doing that, you're also introducing the idea of a, say it with me, multiverse, which I don't know how I feel because I kind of expect, I don't want Venom to die at the end of this movie. Obviously, as a fan, I would like for him to be alive. And if he does die, I would like for it to at least really mean something. And I just don't feel that they've done enough with these movies to make it mean anything yet for him to die. So I do want him to survive. I know that much. But do I want him to go the way of Deadpool and just enter the MCU and no longer be in a tangent universe where anything else is possible? you know, because sometimes that's my safe place. And I'll admit this to you guys. The Fox universe, especially, was my retreat from the MCU. A, a good example of this would be like in a year where I saw uh Chris Evans appear in a cameo as Captain America in like 2 or 3 different movies, and everything is so connected to this one Avengers, you know, center point. I would find it nice in that year to go to whatever X-Men movie is coming out to still get some campy Marvel comic book fun, but just in something that was not something where every single thing that happened in that movie was informing the next thing, you know, the next 5 TV shows or whatever. And I thought that the Fox universe was a nice, refreshing break from Marvel in times like that. But the Venom, Sony, Spider-Man, whatever universe, I don't know. Like it kind of never got there for me. And I wonder if like I'm just feeling now a little unsatisfied that it looks like the Venom universe is coming to an end before I feel like it really got started. You know? I feel like the last few movies were experimental. I feel like this movie being written by Tom Hardy, interesting choice. I'm excited to see it just for that. But I think that like in general, it kind of makes me feel like we're losing another retreat from the MCU. And eventually everything is going to be connected because Marvel and Disney are going to own all of it. And that bums me out. And I noticed that in this trailer, it feels more Marvel-fied already. It already has the kind of, I don't know. It has the greedy wash over it where you can just kind of feel teases for things. And I don't know. I still want to see it. I still am excited. I think it's very ambitious the way that they're kind of promoting this movie as the last one and saying goodbye. But I also wonder how are they going to how can you reconcile promoting things like that when might we might be seeing Venom in another Spider-Man movie? And then is the justification, yeah, but now it's in a different universe, in which case, are we allowed to feel anything? Are we allowed to feel sad that there's no more Venom? Or do we have to assume that anytime somebody that's been in a Marvel comic has a movie and they die in that movie, it's all okay because they will be back in the MCU? Because at that point, I'm not really sure what you want me to fucking feel. And I don't know. I don't know, but you guys tell me. I'm still excited to see the movie, but I'm taking it all with a grain of salt, wondering, is Marvel just meddling? You know, are they taking over Venom 3 before we saw Venom 3, you know? Well, I'm not gonna try with your name. I'm sorry, but it looks like okay, I'm gonna try Guierras, like Guillermo, but like Guierras. Wants to know, where do I collect all the footage for my movie videos? I have the movies. So usually somebody on staff, we are movie lovers. We have a lot of movies. I'm not going to tell you the exact process to getting them, but I just have digital copies of movies that you can use for B-roll. And so that's what I do. But everybody's got different methods, different strategies. Mine's pretty straightforward, I guess. Okay, so we talked about Venom 1. We talked about Venom 2. It looks like we haven't had any more audio issues. So I do want to say, for those of you that had to endure that, I don't know what happened, and I am sorry about that. I'll watch the stream back later and try to see if I could figure out what happened. It could have just been an internet thing. It is kind of a stormy night tonight, so who knows. Let's do one more of these just to get my fix.
There's gonna be carnage.
Okay. If you're wearing headphones, turn your headphones down a little bit because I'm going to turn that up a little bit, and we're just going to rock it out one more time.
There's gonna be carnage.
I can't get enough of it. And his face when he says it. There it is. I wonder what's going to happen. Sorry, I love that clip. It's a good meme. Let's do a giveaway. Fuck it. Let's do a giveaway. Now, guys, I mentioned at the beginning of the stream and also somewhere in the middle, we are doing a Funko Pop giveaway. Here is the important thing. Yash, let me try to get your name right here, bud. Yash Srivastava. Yes, this is live right now. Hello. What up? Welcome to the stream. In fact, you came at a good time, Yash. If you want to win a Funko Pop, we are giving away a Venom Funko Pop. So, if you guys want to win, here's what you have to do. First, let me show you what we're giving away. Actually, I put together this little promo graphic for you so I can show you. Now, this giveaway is going to be important that you guys pay attention if you win. Okay, and we'll talk about it. But we're giving away this Venom Funko Pop. This one specifically comes with a little artwork cardboard cutout. That's not an actual comic, but the little artwork piece in the back is a replica copy of the cover of Venom Lethal Protector. So pretty cool. It looks good in the box. It's kind of one of those ones you can keep it in the box as decor and it'll look good. So all you have to do if you want to win is answer this question. What is the make and model of Eddie's motorcycle in Venom? And the first one to get that question correct in the comments will win a Venom Funko Pop. So hopefully you guys are, I can see it now. Hopefully you guys are just scouring Google to see who can look it up the fastest. I had to do it the hard way. I came up with this question before I went back and rewatched the movies. And it was only my second time watching Venom Let There Be Carnage. So I wanted to do a giveaway question that had to do with the first movie since that was like my third or fourth time seeing it. And I did it the hard way. When I was watching it, I had to pause it and what kind of bike is that? And then eventually I just looked it up. Whoa. Oh, Alistair, I'm sorry, man. You only did the first part first, and that second part didn't come in time. I honestly don't believe it. Yash, you were wondering if this was live. You just won a Funko Pop Live. You were the first person to get the answer correct. Tom Hardy's bike, Eddie's bike in Venom, was a Ducati Scrambler. Technically, it's a Ducati Scrambler Classic, but most people would just call that version of it the Scrambler. This is what it looks like. I think his in the movie might have been a different color. Honestly, I don't know anything about motorcycles. This one, very sexy. It's a good-looking motorcycle, and I like it. So, yeah, Yash, congratulations, man. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. I hope. And if I'm not, please forgive me. I'll make it up to you by sending you a Funko Pop. So congrats, man. Usually those giveaway questions are opinion-based. Sometimes they're trivia-based. And the opinion-based ones usually go on for longer. So if this one felt anticlimactic, I don't know. Fucking tune in next week and we'll do another giveaway and maybe you'll win. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, Yash, here's what you need to do, my man. Let's pull up me. And let's pull up you. And let's pull up this. Okay, so here's what I need you to do, man. Send us an email now. Usually, you can send it right there. Usually, I would have you guys use my email address, kiergomes@joeblow.com. But lately, I've not been getting emails from you guys regarding giveaways. I mean, some of you, yes, I have. But some of you, I haven't. So we're going to try something new. We're going to have you email arrow@joeblow.com. That's John Fallon, who, of course, is our friend of the show and our producer. Which this is better anyway for this giveaway because John specifically told me that if we don't get somebody claiming this prize, so Yash, listen up, that he's going to take it for himself. Okay. I want him to have it, but I also want you, Yash, to have it. So you got to email arrow@joeblow.com, send your name, your shipping details, and we will get your prize out to you ASAP. All right, let's take this caption, or I'm sorry, this overlay off screen. But again, arrow@joeblow.com. Please email. All right. Yash, congratulations again. Please email. Sometimes you guys win and sometimes you don't reach out. And that's tragic because then nobody wins, you know? Oh, we have some motorcycle lovers in here. Bunch of you guys. Whoa, that's cool. I don't know anything about motorcycles, but this just looks like somebody who does. You know what I'm saying? Street Hawk equals 1983 Honda XL 500 trail bike. I agree. Darnell, yeah, I'm so sorry, bud. So sorry. A little late. Just missed our giveaway. Speaking of Arrow, hello. We got to get you on the show sometime soon there, bud. Me and you, and we'll do a giveaway that maybe we'll both win. Maybe we'll do a giveaway where I get something, you get something, and the audience gets something. You know what I'm saying? Oh, Mike Conway's here as well. Hello, everybody. Thank you guys all for being here. My Joe Blow fam. Hi. Mike. If you guys don't know, Mike is our guy. We love Mike. He's the one who stepped up to make the Joe Blow popcorn bucket happen. So, Mike, maybe we'll do a segment where I'll play some of the video that you've made documenting that process. That would be fun. Okay. Arrow. Johnny. He sent the email. So you can verify, Arrow, if we get that email, okay? So anyway, yeah, Yash, congratulations. We will get your email. We will get your info. We will get your win, your prize to you, okay? Ooh. Here's a good question. Halloween giveaways, so we get a few chances. Maybe we'll do you guys think, let me know in the comments. Major Blazer, this inspired me for an idea. Do you think maybe it would be fun for our Halloween episode of Friday Night Flicks to maybe do like a trick or treat, like a giveaway that we do a spin on some kind of trick or treat where like maybe we'll play trivia, and if you get the answer wrong, it's a trick, like something like, you know, some kind of like, I don't know, punishment of some kind, and then it's a treat if you win. Maybe you can win prizes. I'm spitballing. That's off the top of my head, but I got my noggin cooking, and I'm thinking. All right, what else do we got? Oh, before we go, I know, guys, sometimes I go over. It is what it is. You got to bear with me. I like to talk to you guys on a Friday night. Okay, I've had a long week. My brain is scrambled. It's turned to putty. But there was one more thing that I wanted to talk about. Scream 7. I heard some news that made me a little sad that Scream 7 might be doomed. And until I have the facts, I don't want to say too much. This article doesn't go too deep into that. But it started with Melissa Barrera being fired. You guys remember that. Jenna Ortega then chose not to come back. Nev Campbell did state that she was coming back with Patrick Dempsey, was the idea. And then that was confirmed. The thing is, there's been some talk about some things that like Courtney Cox would like to see in the movie. Other potential developments that would be rewritten or restructured to make that a possibility. And as such, I think what we're looking at here is potentially a rocky road to Scream 7. And that's going to be putting it lightly. Now, they did just announce that they're doing. By the way, this is all coming from me I'm a big Scream fan. If I didn't preface by saying that, that's why I wanted to talk about this. It's the spooky season, and Scream is one of my favorite franchises of all time. Now, I think what we're looking at, they did just announce there's a Scream 7 spinoff coming out about Kirby, it seems, is the rumor. And that's cool because, the idea of that would be Kirby working in her Ghostface copycat unit of the FBI, which she said that's where she worked in Scream 6. And that could be good because then you can still get all these Ghostface killings, but none of it's tied to, Sydney or the, the new cast, which would be good. But I think that, I don't know, man. I think that Scream was kind of on such a hot streak with 6 films in a row, in my opinion, that were all pretty good. Some were stronger than others, but I enjoy all of the Scream movies. And I don't want that to change because Spyglass got weird and then got greedy. I would like for that to stay out of it, at least until the movie's done. Because then they can just stop making them if they want. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point. If anyone was dead, all they needed to do is write in the script they were in witness protection because all the deaths keep happening to the original crew. I just would not. I don't like that. I hate that Dewey, for example. Dewey's the character we're talking about, okay? I hate that Dewey died in Scream 5. I hate it. I love Dewey. He's my favorite. He's everyone's favorite, right? Favorite good guy was Dewey. Favorite bad guy, I think, is always going to be Stu Macher. But anyway, I would be disappointed to find out that Dewey is alive. He did survive all that. He's just in witness protection now. Okay, hopefully I'm back. I hope you guys are still here. Let me get my camera back in focus. So sorry guys. It's a little bit of a stormy night tonight, and my power went out, which also took out my Wi-Fi. So when the power came back on, it took me a while to get everything back up and running. So I do apologize for that. Okay. But it was luckily the end of the show anyway. I hope that you guys are still in here. I'm so sorry, but there was just a few technical problems that we had to deal with. It's warm as in the camera. Yeah. There we go. There we go. How's that? Better? All right, guys. Well, we were pretty much at the end of the show anyway, and I guess that's a sign that I should probably take shelter and pray. So I am going to get out of here. I'm going to let you guys go enjoy your Friday. I'm going to do my best to enjoy mine, but this, as always, was the highlight of my Friday. So after this, it doesn't really matter. I might go to a movie. I might not. But before we do, now that I have you guys back, let's plug some merch. It's the perfect time. There's always time for that. You guys go check out the store. Okay. Shop around. We have some very cool t-shirts. I always say this, but I say it because it's important. These are cool t-shirts if you like movies and you want to be subtle about it. You know, if you're a cool movie guy and you want to wear a shirt about a movie that you like you can see that one right there. they're little references that are a little tongue in cheek, but they're ultimately for movie lovers like you, like me. So go pick yourself one up. Also pick one up for me while you're at it. I could always use a couple extra Joe Blow shirts. So I consider it my work uniform, actually. Maybe I should get a bunch of free ones, a bunch more. All right, guys, be good. Have a great Friday. I love you all. Apologies for today's technical issues. I think it's the weather, but it won't be an issue next week. I promise. All right. Good weekend. Much love. Make sure you like the video and subscribe to this channel. Bye-bye.